All right, welcome to Mr. Freeman's business class. We're going to be doing this again for principles of business. Today we're talking about real estate investment. We're talking about investment all day today because we want you to invest your money smart, learn how to invest it smart, especially for you guys in high school, even younger, even older. Even if you're in college and starting your freshman year and taking principles of business, this might help you out a little bit. Who cares? But this is for my students in high school so they can learn, so they can review, just in case they understand, especially with this virtual learning going on. So we're going to go ahead and get started into it so they can get the review so they know what they're supposed to be learning. But go ahead, subscribe, like, share with your friends. Anybody taking a business class can use this material. It's quick review learning. That's it. 10 minutes or less. We're already down to 9 because I took too long. Let's get started. Okay, real estate investment. First thing is you always think about selecting a house, buying a house. That's the American dream is buying a house, right? So what is real estate? That's what we're going to talk about. Okay, we're going to talk about the real estate. Let's see. Let me switch to maybe a little different color over here. Real estate right here. Bam. Very important. That color did not work very well. I always like to go purple. I don't know why. It just seems to work better. There we go. Purple. Right there. Okay, land and anything that's attached to it is one investment that many people always require. Every person is hoping to buy a house and wants a house. That is an investment that every person is searching for. Okay? Most people don't want to rent. Very few people want to rent long term. Most want short term. So this right here, we're talking rent is a X. Most people want it short term, long term. Only do it because they have to. Everybody wants that freedom. Owning a house gives you that freedom, gives you that yard, gives you that space, because you feel like you own it, you acquire it, your money's going somewhere, not being wasted. Several people have told me I hate renting because I feel like I'm wasting money. I want to buy because I feel like I own it. Yes, you gotta start renting somewhere. You gotta start. You can't start just owning at the beginning. You know what? The next slide will show you why. Okay. Other example, besides renting, besides owning a home or apartment, renting an apartment, is own a mobile home. This is a great option for beginners right here. Most are very expensive. You can find yourself right here. Advantage of owning a mobile home to call your own. That is a key thing because you can find these inexpensive all the time. You can go get a brand new 3 bedroom. I've seen them for under about 30 grand, and you can find yourself a piece of property for about 20 to 30. So for 50 to 60 grand, you can have a property, you can have a mobile home, and you can call your own. It's inexpensive, short term. You're not spending a lot of money. Rent has gone up in this area, in the Houston area. We're in Pasadena, and Houston area has gotten expensive. I've seen from 13 years ago, apartments renting for three, four, $500. Now they're almost to a grand. Prices had double, triple in rent. They're almost as much as what you pay for a house, even more than houses, depending on how much you put down. Next slide. All right. 99% of everybody who wants to buy a house. That is their ultimate goal, dream, desire. Well, guess what? Of those, the same amount's going to need a mortgage because guess what? 99.9% of us do not have the money to put down to buy that house. We're not going to have the money. And we're going to need a mortgage. And that's going to determine what we pay monthly. Is how much we put down is how much we have to pay. And your mortgage is generated off of your interest and your principal. Interest is how much the bank's going to charge you to loan you that money. It's principal is how much is going towards to pay off that balance. And sometimes your mortgage, they'll add in there your property taxes and home insurance, depending on how you do it and how you agree to do it. And that's what's going to make up your mortgage. Okay? Mortgage rates are determined lots of times by the time period. So the length of term that you're going to take that loan. If you take a 15-year loan, it's going to be lower. If you take a 20 year, it's going to be slightly higher. 30 year, you can get more higher of the rates. Okay, so understand that you take a 30-year loan out, you'll probably pay a higher percentage than you would if you take a 15. Even though the 15 your payment's gonna be higher, your payment might only be $75 more than what you do for a 30-year, and you're gonna dramatically cut the amount of interest you pay for your home. Understand that. But most of us are set up to only be able to afford to pay to be able to finance a 30-year loan. But if you can find a way to do the 15 or even a 20, you save yourself money in the long run. And that's money you put in your pocket. That mortgage payment, as I stated, sometimes will include your property taxes and home insurance. Key thing. Not always. And sometimes that's where you hear people talk about, oh, my mortgage payment's about $2,500 a month. Because a lot of times they're including that property tax and home insurance and not just talking about the principal's interest. Okay, that is so then they just pay it monthly and not have to worry about it at the end of the year. And they don't have to worry about doing a lump sum. Monthly, they pay a mortgage company. They hold the money. They generate the interest for themselves. They benefit. That is one of the things that does happen when you pay property tax and insurance to a mortgage company. They benefit because they hold the money. They're going to generate interest invested to then pay it when it's due later. But that's a concern you have to worry about. Understand also, there's two types of mortgage loans that typically are used. You have your fixed rate and your adjustable rate. Those are it. Well, guess what? We're gonna come over here. We're gonna see that 99. That's not what I wanted. You're gonna see that X over an arm. Don't do them. I remember the 2008 housing crisis. So many people. My mom was babysitting people taking a risk because they got the arm that they almost lost their house because the interest rates were going so high that they were paying for like $1,200 a month, and their interest there with the interest rates going up so much, they're paying $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for a home. Arms are bad. Fixed rates are better. That's my opinion. I'd rather know how much I'm going to pay over 30 years instead of it being adjustable. Yes, you might save at the beginning, but you're probably going to guarantee pay more in the long run. Arms are not good. Adjustable rate of mortgage, I, in my opinion, don't think they're not good because I've seen too many issues in the long run through my lifetime, especially at a younger age, and knew several people that lost their homes. And that was a big risk that happened during the housing market crisis. Was lots of people had those arms because they would enjoy the low interest at the beginning, and it came back and harmed them in the long run. Other thing to understand about in real estate is that you have to have the service of real estate agent. Now, that market has changed dramatically. We got to get moving. We got a few minutes left. All right. So what do? They help you buy and sell your house. Now, you can find small companies have changed a little bit and they have gone to lower percentages. Typically, a real estate agent charges about 6 to 7%, 3%, 3.5% for them listed, 3.5% for them to sell it. So depending on how it works, a lot of times the real estate agent helps buy and sell the same house, does both of the portions, then you get a discount. Not always. Understand there's a cost factor, and that cost factor you have to factor into listing your house. Okay. What does real estate agent do? They don't really help that much with finding properties. You got so much stuff, especially here in Houston. You got HIR.com. You can go online. You can sign all the pictures, videos, everything. You pretty much can drive by the house. Also, you can know everything about the house before you even go in. Most people will use these websites to find out everything. They just want to walk through to make sure the video's right. Real estate agents don't do what they used to do. I remember when I was a kid, go real estate agents, and we go to their house. They pull out photos and this and that and show you, and then you'd have to go see it because all they had was a picture of the front of the house. That's it, nothing else. Now it's not like that. You can find all the information you want out before you see the house. What real estate agents do now, they're more stagers, presenters. They do photos, presentations, and videos. Use those drones to get pictures of the outside of the house so people can see videos and things like that. That's what you're paying a real estate agent for, is to stage and market your house so you can sell at the price that you want to sell. That's what you're paying for. So if they don't do it correctly, make sure that you get a better deal on your percentage of charge, because that's what they should be doing. That's it. They don't do what they used to do. Everything's done online. Other real estate professionals, key thing are title companies. Typically, they take about 1.5% up 2% typically, and their job is nothing to make sure that the property value is accurate. Property taxes, back taxes, other liens are all taken care of, caught up before you buy the property, to make sure that you're not buying something that you're going to regret and have to owe later. That's what how a company does. They're basically the lawyers of closing down the house and everything. We got a hurry because that bell just went off. Other option you can do in buying is buying a condominium. I don't know why the book did this way, but they put it right here with Service Real Estate Agents. They should have put it with the other one. I spaced out, didn't do it. But those are very common, especially if you're in certain areas. They're great, inexpensive, still give you that ownership of a house. A lot of them have small backyards. Great opportunities. The benefits of owning a home. Tax benefits. You get to write off the mortgage insurance, the mortgage that you pay, the property tax that you pay on your federal income tax. Bam. So if you pay $15,000 and all these, you get a deduction $15,000 in federal income tax. That's money you save versus a renter. You get none of it. You pay $15,000, you get no benefit. That is a benefit of owning a home, and that's money that you get back on your federal income tax you can put in your pocket. And you get the the benefit of owning a home. Increased equity. If the property value of renting an apartment or home goes up, you get no benefit of it. You get nothing but the benefit of paying more because guess what's going to have a property tax is going to go up, and they're going to want to charge you more to stay there, and that is not a benefit. But the person that owns the property will get increase in equity, and they will enjoy the benefit of when they sell that property of getting more money than what they paid for. And equity, the key term, we're going to start to highlight that right there because equity is key. Equity right here is the difference between what you paid and what you got paid. That's equity. Increase of value, right? Ownership, pride of ownership. That is the main benefit right there. When you own a home, you feel a sense of accomplishment. Let's highlight this accomplishment right here. That's what you get when you buy a home, sense of accomplishment. This will be our last slide for real estate. The cost of ownership. You have to understand there is a cost. People don't understand there's a cost, and the biggest cost that people don't count in is property tax. Understand the property tax that you're purchasing that home in that area. You're going to have to pay typically between 2 and 4%. Some areas might be slightly less, but you're going to pay 2 to 4% of the assessed value. That is what the county determines the value of that property, of that home or object sitting on that property is worth. You're going to have to pay 2 to 4% of that. So if it is $200,000, you're going to pay 2 to 4% of that $200,000 to property tax. Understand that. That is going to typically your county and your school districts, and which is going to be distributed through the local junior colleges, firefighter, police, all that good stuff. Okay, property taxes. It costs to have and own a home. Interest payments. You're going to pay a certain percentage. Right now, the percentage is way low, and depending on what percentage you do, you can get between 2.75 up to right below 4%. That's the percentage you're going to get charged to take out the loan, and that's how much you're going to be paying the company that you're borrowing that money for. Each year, that percentage, break that down by 12, that's how much you're going to pay per month. Property insurance, you're going to have property insurance. Depending on where you live here in Texas, you pretty much need hazard and you need flood. Why? It floods here in Houston, and if it floods, hazard doesn't cover it. So flood you need, it's about $485 roughly a year, a little under $500, and that's going to cover for when these nice storms come by and flood up the city. So then you make sure you're covered, so then you can get your house repaired done for an inexpensive cost. Those are typically about 1% of the home value. Understand that. So right now we're sitting between 7% and 9% of what the assessed value of your home is going to be. And then you have your maintenance costs, and you're going to have maintenance costs on your home. Things do happen, hopefully not too much, but you still got to cut the grass. You got to take care of the grass. There's things that do happen in it. They say pretty much looking up estimates are about 2%. You might get away with a little less, but understand you're going to have a percentage. So it looks like we're going to be sitting around close between about 8 to 10% of the assessed value is what it costs annually to own a home. But a lot of these things you get to write off on your federal income tax, and that's benefits that you get to put in your pocket at the end of the year. Understand that is the biggest difference between real estate and renting and owning is the benefit of that. But if you can't afford don't buy. Only buy if you can afford, because all you're gonna do is anger yourself down, struggle, and be in pain. You got any questions, any messages, comment, you guys come and ask me in class, students. This is a quick review of the material so you understand the key points to prepare for the test and quizzes. Don't forget to study what you don't understand and read the material that's posted